So hello friends, today we'll be discussing the neoplasia again. Last time we had stopped at the proto-oncogene mutations. So we had stopped on the viruses. I think viruses also we had I think talked about. By the way, how which virus is able to produce hepatocellular carcinoma? Hepatocellular carcinoma is by HCV, hepatitis C virus, isn't it? But how it is doing this? Cirrhosis. Okay, isn't it? It's causing cirrhosis. Okay. We also said that, by the way, which virus is HCV? Is it a DNA virus or RNA virus? It's an RNA virus, isn't it? It's an RNA virus. I will be teaching in virology. And what about adult T cell leukemia? Do we remember adult T cell leukemia? Adult T cell leukemia was caused by HTLV1. HTLV1. How it was causing? You should remember one thing in the box. Please write in the box here. How it was activating TAX gene. It was activating TAX gene. Okay, and it causes B cell proliferation. B cell proliferation, and that means when B cell proliferation will happen, also it will cause T T814 translocation. So there is a high risk of getting a translocation. Okay, fine. Sorry. Not 849. I'm really sorry. It was because of it caused P53 gene inhibition. I'm sorry. Please correct this. Suddenly feeling sleepy, but I will get refreshed in some time. So it is P53 inhibition. So P53 suppressor gene inhibition. Okay. And next, what we had written? Kaposi sarcoma. Do we remember Kaposi sarcoma? Kaposi sarcoma was done by HHV8. Okay. So what did it cause is it caused the increased release of cytokines. It caused the increased release of cytokines from HIV and HSV. Clear? Yeah. What about Burkitt's lymphoma? Burkitt's lymphoma was caused by EBV, Epstein-Barr virus, EBV. What else was it causing? CNS lymphoma in AIDS patients. CNS lymphoma in AIDS patients. What else it was causing? Mixed cellularity Hodgkin's lymphoma. Mixed cellularity Hodgkin's lymphoma. Mixed cellularity Hodgkin's lymphoma. What else do you remember? Nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Okay, but how it was causing? Here you will write translocation. First you will write it increases B cell proliferation. Okay, here it will increase B cell proliferation. Here it was T cell. I'm sorry, you should correct the previous one. This was T cell proliferation because T. Here it should be B cell proliferation. ABV means B cell proliferation. B cell proliferation, and then we will get a high risk of translocation 814. 814 translocation. Okay, are we clear? Or people are sleeping in sunlight and Sunday? Yeah. What about? Oh, by the way, who causes SCC of vulva? Vulva vagina. Who causes SCC of vulva vagina? Even cervix, even anus. While a person has an anal intercourse. anal intercourse. So which virus is that? HPV, which type? 16 and 18, isn't it? HPV 16 and 18. I hope you can remember the number, isn't it? Can you remember the number? Isn't it? Yeah, you can remember the number by yourself, I think. 16, 18, okay? So this 16, 18 is, by the way, 16 produces what? Who can tell me? It produces a E6 product. What does E6 do? Inhibits P53. What about 18? 18 produces E7 product. I hope you are not studying, isn't it? Inhibits, should be tip of your tongue, retinoblastoma 1, because retinoblastoma 1 is a suppressor gene. Retinoblastoma 1 is a suppressor, P53 suppressor. So it inhibits. Okay. Are you clear? Is there any doubt with this? Yeah. So this we have written. Yeah. So this HCV, this is an RNA virus. HTLV is also an RNA virus. By the way, Kaposi sarcoma, HHV8 is a, you have left every book alone, isn't it? Directly landed into pathology without learning immunology and microbiology. It is a DNA virus. It's a DNA virus. What about this EBV? I am relating this to virology. EBV is a DNA virus. Okay. Fine. SCC. It was caused by HPV type 16 and 18. Both of them are DNA viruses. Anything else remaining? Epstein-Barr virus is DNA virus. You should learn, my dears. You should learn these things. This is the basics of microbiology, virology. Without this, you can't proceed. What is a viral oncogene? I have taught you in the beginning of what is a viral oncogene. Remember first thing. Okay, I hope you are not studying. So let you please focus here. Viral oncogenes are basically, first thing to remember about them, they will be written in a 3-letter combination. 3-letter combination. And if you have to describe a viral gene, V has to be put in the front. Like I will write VSRC, VERB, VMIC, VSIS, sister, V, what else are there? VFMS, VFOS, VROS, isn't it? VMIB, it is Ross sarcoma virus of chicken. What is VERB? Erythroblastosis virus, same chickens. What is VMIC? Yeah, it is a MC29 isolate. It's an MC29 isolate from same chickens. So this is how I remember all them in the line. Okay. So we have chickens. Why it's not writing? Yeah. Same chickens. Okay. Chickens. What is VSIS? VSIS is simian sarcoma virus. Simian sarcoma virus. What about VFMS? This is FMS. FMS. VFMS. Fallin McDonough sarcoma virus. What about VFOS? FBJ osteosarcoma virus of mice. So these are some viral oncogenes, retroviral oncogenes. Okay, these are retroviral variety. So you just write them only. You don't need to write more about this. Okay, VROS. I can write if you want to remember. VROS is UR2 avian sarcomavirus. Okay, I write everything. It's your choice what to remember. Okay, we may just giving you examples. Avian myeloblastosis virus. Avian myeloblastosis virus. Okay, so these are some examples of viral oncogenes. So what are these? They basically are those oncogenes which are equal to DNA sequences, our DNA sequences. Okay, fine. But what you will be writing for our genes, if they are similar, you will write C for our genes. Are we able to understand? Our genes will be having C in the front, but their virus genes will be having V in the front. Because we already have a normal proto-oncogenes or cellular oncogenes, isn't it? We have C oncs, but virus has V oncs. I gave you in the description. That's why you were confused at that day. See, when did I give you everything in the first beginning? You were not able to understand my words. I will understand. So please try to understand what I mean. So these oncogenes are same, exactly same of our genes. That means we have a proto-oncogene that is C. So we will be writing C in front of this. And virus will be having the same genes, but ours is a proto-oncogene. Are we able to understand? Proto-oncogene means normal gene. Oncogene is a problem. Now let me go towards the cell cycle to give you a concept. Now, yesterday we have seen in the last topic, we have seen that how a growth factor was having more. Can we see that? Growth factor, and then it was acting on that growth factor receptor, and then in the middle a signal transduction process happened, and finally a transcription of protein happened, isn't it? See, if I give you a normal overview, of proto-oncogenes, how do they work? What is the normal overview of proto-oncogenes? See, it is so simple to understand. You have a growth factor. This growth factor is coming to growth factor receptor, isn't it? This is a receptor on the cell. And this growth factor receptor is actually starting the process of signal transduction is happening. Signal transduction process is happening. And this signal transduction process is activating what? Going to the nucleus. There it gets the nuclear transcription factor. And this nuclear transcription factor will finally go to cyclin and cyclin dependent kinases. These are called CDKs. And then cell cycle will start. Cell cycle is what? What is the meaning of cell cycle? Anyone? Guys, you should contribute. No, you should say it means self proliferation plus cellular differentiation. This is your cell cycle starting. So it starts with, so you have a G0 phase, you have a G1 phase, you have a synthetic phase, you have a G2 phase, and then M phase. So how you remember? If you forget, go Sally go. Make children. Go Sally go. Make children. Okay. Go Sally go. Make children. There. Now, how many phases we have in the cell cycle? I would like to make it understand, because you haven't studied in the biochemistry. How many phases we have? 5 phases in the cell cycle. Okay. We have 5 phases. Either you can start with G1, G0, or you can start from G1. It's okay. Okay, you can start writing about this. I would write about G0 first. What is G0 phase? G0 means no, means quiescent. What about G1? Pre-synthetic phase. What about what about S? Synthetic phase. Okay, what we mean by I will be telling you this. Okay, G2 means post-synthetic phase. And M means mitotic phase. M means mitotic phase. Clear? So what is significant about them is, let us write some significance, okay, to make our life easy. Let us write like this. Quiescent stage means quiescent, not doing anything cell. Okay, pre-synthetic, you can understand, making some proteins and all that so that the cell can divide. Now this is important for us. Synthetic phase is DNA synthesis and nuclear content gets doubled, and this point is called as, please write in new color, this is called as point of no return. Point of no return, in which are the cell number doubled. In which phase is the cell number doubled? Yes, it is the mitotic phase. Cell number is doubled in mitotic phase. Clear? Okay, you are able to understand this also. That's very nice. Now see guys, I want you to draw a figure so that your life becomes easy, okay? Otherwise you will get confused. Now see, the cells which are in G0 stage should be called non-dividing cells. And if they have to replicate, please understand my words. If they have to be replicated, they should go to G1 phase. They should go to G1 phase. Are we clear? But who is making this order? Who is giving this order? See, I will be making some order. Okay, I will be making some order for you. Not deciding a justice case like a judge. I will be making some order for you. I am telling you, I have a G0 phase. I have a G1 phase. And I have a G2 phase. Okay, in the middle I have S phase and I have a M phase. Okay. Now I am telling you guys, let's have a, please have a full concentration. You are telling us, sir, it should go towards the G1 phase. But who is actually doing this? Who is telling the cell that you have to go through G1, S, G2? This should be the question in your brain. Why always we were taught like this? So you were directly taught that they are going through this. It's because of cyclins and cyclin dependent kinases and also their inhibitors. So remember the orderly progression. This is called an orderly progression. That's why I am telling you, please read the standard textbook so that you understand much better the things and your study becomes interesting. Don't mug up and don't do some cramming. Okay. So orderly progression is happening. Why? Because of cyclins, cyclin dependent kinases and their inhibitors. Now I would like to say something. Okay, I would like to say something. Listen, I would say something. Your CDKs, if they have to get expressed. So what are the CDKs? I'll be telling you later. See, for example, I want to start a cell cycle. That means my intention is to divide the cells. During the cell cycle, they will be present in an inactive form. Who? CDKs will be present in inactive form. They will be present in inactive form. But cyclins will be already synthesized. They will be already synthesized during the phases of cell cycle. Are we able to understand? CDKs were synthesized during the cell cycle, but they were inactive. If something is inactive, inactive means inactive. But cyclins are synthesized during some some specific phases. During some specific phases, like if I go from G1 to S, there will be one type of cycling. If I go from S to G2, there will be some other type of cycling. From G2 to M, there will be some other type of cycling. So all these cyclins will be synthesized during individual phases. But I am telling you, these these cyclins, okay, which are synthesized during specific phases, will have to activate these CDKs. No doubt you have already synthesized the CDKs, isn't it? But they are themselves telling you that cyclin dependent kinases. That means when you will give me cyclin, I will be doing the kinase activity. Are we able to understand? So no doubt you have already synthesized, no doubt you have already produce these proteins, CDKs, but it's only after the production of cyclins during the specific phases of the cell cycle that you will be able to activate these SCDKs. Okay, so you should remember a thing that is DAB. That is DAB. What? DAB. Okay. Let me write this like this. DAB. So your DEAB. DEAB. Let me make DEAB. What is the DEAB? Cyclin D. We are saying cyclins are synthesized sequentially. Yes, sir. But cyclin dependent kinases were they were also synthesis, but they were already present there. They were already present there. Okay. Fine. Now this is cyclin D, cyclin E, cyclin A, cyclin B. Cyclin D, cyclin E, cyclin A, cyclin B. And why I am making these cyclins? Yes, you have to speak now. Why I am making these cyclins? Why I am making these cyclins? I'm making these cyclins too. Should write fast, guys. We are recording the video also. No, we not for the purpose of CDKs. You should specifically say to proceed the cell cycle in a progressive manner. To do a sequential activity of the cell cycle. That should be a more nice answer. We know already that cyclin independent kinase needs cyclin, so it itself speaks. But we should speak that to do that sequential, no, that process to happen in that sequential manner, we need them cyclin of the cell cycle to complete the cell cycle. Okay, I want you to write it on this diagram only, so that your life becomes easy. Don't write in English, don't write something. You should understand this diagram. Okay, I'll be making a simple diagram for this same diagram. I will be applying some concepts. See, now tell me, if you are doing a process, should the government put a checkpoint? Should the government put a checkpoint while you are, no, you have a city. So in that city, you have stores, you have clubs, you have pubs, you have, religious activities, you have everything. It's a society. That's what you call the society. You have market, you have business, you have selling, you are buying. So this is how society is, working. Everyday world is working. So do you want some checkpoints that they should check the supplies? What is going from point A to point B? Should there be a check post? like a police post, so that I can see everything is going fine. There is no chances of getting the crime. There is no susceptibility of having any sort of a you know a sort of a mischief happening in the society. So same way, cell is having some checkpoints. Cell is having some checkpoints during the cycle so that it can check whether the DNA is nicely made, whether every protein is adequate, whether this protein had to be made or not had to be made, whether this no that RNA was made nicely or not, so that I can produce a nice protein. So all these checkpoints are already in place. Okay, so we should know at least those checkpoints so that we can understand where the cancer can happen or where this mutation can affect something. Are we able to understand? So while going from G to this or this to this, okay, no checkpoint is here. Okay, two checkpoints you have to remember. Two checkpoints you have to remember to make your life easy. Okay, and then I will be marking also the cyclins and cyclin dependent kinases for you. Okay, first checkpoint is from this to this. I have a checkpoint here, guys. Checkpoint. Let us make it a checkpoint like that, isn't it? So stop for checking, isn't it? So we have a checkpoint here. This checkpoint will be called G1S checkpoint. What is this name? Like you say, like you are moving in California, okay? Or you are going from, let us give an example. You are going from beach to mall. So while beach to mall, this road is a checkpoint. Here the police will keep a checkpoint. Are we clear? Same way we have a checkpoint, that is the name becomes itself easy. Fortunately, they have done something fortunate for us. G1S checkpoint. Okay. Then we also have another checkpoint, that is G2M checkpoint. G2M checkpoint, guys. G2M checkpoint. G2M checkpoint. Let us give a shade to this. Yeah. So G2M checkpoint. Clear? Fine. Then we have this. So this goes to this and this goes to this. Okay. Are we clear? So which cyclin do you need? Which cyclin do you need from G1 to S? Which cyclin? So we have cyclin. So I remember it by DAB, and then I tried 42621. 42621. That's my style of remembering. DAB 42621. DAB 42621. How, what I am saying, sir? I will be telling you what I am saying. Here, from going from G1 to S progression, I need a cyclin that is called, let me make cyclins like this, okay? Cyclin, this is a cyclin, okay? This here, the cyclin. I should write it in a box. The cyclin will be, let us make it more clear. Cyclin will be, guys, it will be cyclin D, and CDK will be 4. If you don't work hard or if you don't learn, what will happen? You won't become a nice physician. I'm telling you. It's not that you have to only understand logics and connect the dots. If you don't have any knowledge, you can't understand it. Clear? So we have cyclin D. Then we have cyclin. Now I will give you a jerk. I will give you a jerk. The jerk is, this is A, cyclin A. Cyclin A. And cyclin A, CDK will be 2. CDK will be 2. If you don't learn the cell cycle, you won't understand it, definitely. Promise. While your brain is studying, what you do is you are not able to understand. What you do, you leave that topic. And what will happen? You are actually leaving the patient, isn't it? So every topic of medicine is important. Every topic, I'm telling you, it's so important. So the cyclic dependent will be CDK4. This is CDK2. Okay. And now I take another cyclin, that is from G2 to M. From G2 to M, the cyclin is cyclin B, and the cyclin dependent kinase will be CDK1. CDK1. Where is the E, sir? E runs from G1S to G2. G1S to G2. Okay. So we have like this. I should make like this. I should make like this. I don't have space. I would be removing something. Okay. Don't worry. So from this region, okay, let me make in the air. So from this region, G1 like this. So from this region to this region, I will be having cyclin E, and cyclin independent kinase will be 2. Sorry, CDK2. Clear? Are we clear? So write the way I'm writing, okay? Write the way I'm writing. Now see, during the G1 phase, cyclin D is binding to CDK4 and activating it also. Can I say CD, cyclin D, cyclin dependent kinase 4 merging will form a CD, cyclin D CDK4 complex? Yeah. So cyclin CDK4 complex is formed in dash C. It is formed in G1 phase. G1 phase, during this phase, okay? Fine. I'll be telling you later that retinoblastoma gene also, don't worry. So, and then here we have a, in the S phase, we have a, yeah, in the S phase we have cyclin E CDK2 complex. Cyclin E CDK2 complex. Isn't it here? Can we see? So in the S phase, we start this. And like we here, I'm telling you, in the G2 phase, we have cyclin B CDK1. Now, what is the way of activating these cyclins? What they are doing? Cyclins are actually activating this by a process called oxidative phosphorylation. This all processes which are happening is because of oxidative phosphorylation. Oxidative phosphorylation, guys. Clear? But I want to tell you this CDK, cyclin dependent kinase, cyclin D, is basically some, I have read somewhere that it is synthesized during the mid G0 phase. So cyclin D, they write is mid G0 phase also. So we start synthesizing the cyclin D in mid G0 phase. So I told you we had cyclin dependent kinases and we also had cyclin dependent. We had cyclins and we had cyclin dependent kinases. So should we also talk about the cell cycle inhibitors? Because I told you it is because of these three things that your cell cycle is proliferating in that adequate manner and in that desired manner. See, everything is conceptual. Once you understand in a sequential orientation way, then it becomes easy. What you do is you start taking every subject in mind and then you do mess with it. Don't do that, my dears. Don't do that. So we have to also know some cell cycle inhibitors, because we said in the beginning that it's because of these cell cycle inhibitors, cycle independent kinases, which are allowing the multiplication and this proliferation and differentiation process. Okay. Now, guys, cell cycle inhibitors. If I talk now, if you want the cyclin, if you want the cyclin and CDK complexes, if you want these complexes to work, or you want to work, no, you want to monitor their activity, you should have a tight regulation. You should have a tight regulation, because this is a crucial point. I hope you can understand how much crucial point this is, because once they will form a complex, what will happen? They will land the cell into a new cell formation, and then proliferative activity will start. And that's what the problem is in this today's world about this cancer. Okay. Um, so see, we should have some inhibitors. So those inhibitors which are regulated. So how we regulate it, how to tightly regulate it? By CDK inhibitors. By CDK inhibitors, guys. Okay. Now these CDK inhibitors are from two families. They have a family, make it easy for you. They have a family. So two families. Okay. Fine. So CDK inhibitors, two families. Two families. One family is called Kip family. What? What, guys? Kip family. How to remember them? Kip family. Kip and Kip family. Second is Incarf family. Incarf family. Incarf family. Inc. If this is 4, this should be ARF. Incarf family. Incarf family. Kip family. Incarf family. Who comes in the Kip family? 21, 27, 57. What? 21, 27, 57. So P21, P27, P57. Who comes in Inc RF? 16, 14, 4A. 16, 14, 4A. So 4A will be with 16. I hope you can understand the mathematics. P16 Inc 4A. This will be P14 ARF. Can we understand now? Yeah, you can understand what I mean. Okay. So which cyclin will be inhibited by which cyclin? Okay. Which cyclin will be inhibited by? By the way, what is this A? What is this A, guys? A for not my name. A for not my name. A for alternative reading frame. Haven't you read the biochemistry cell genetics? Cell genetics, guys, first year? Just make it fast. Yes or no? Have you read this? This is called, I'm not getting your answers, guys. This is called alternative reading frame. Alternative reading frame. Okay, fine. Now see, basically which cyclins will be inhibited by them. Fortunately, there is one good news for you, that these three, excuse me, these three, by the way, who produces P21? It is produced by P53, isn't it? It is produced by P53. So these all will be causing what? They will be inhibiting, please remember, they will be inhibiting cyclin D and cyclin dependent kinase 4. Okay, clear? What about this family? P16 Inc 4A inhibits 4 for 4, so it's easy, sir. CDK4. 14 ARF, it inhibits feedback inhibition. So inhibits feedback inhibition of P53. Inhibits feedback inhibition of P53. Are we clear? And I will be giving you some example of how it is regulating. You will enjoy that phase also. Okay, you will be enjoying that phase also. So how do they activate the cell cycle? Now, how do they activate the cyclins? You are saying, sir, cyclins are activating the cell cycle. To understand this, let us take a topic this. Let us write cell cycle activation. Cell cycle activation. Now see cell cycle activation. Cell cycle activation means I should activate the cell. I should form a cycle-independent kinase complex, and I should then start an oxidative phosphorylation, and then I should activate some things so that I can proceed the cell cycle, isn't it? What will happen is, you know already that there is a gene called retinoblastoma gene. This retinoblastoma gene or RB gene is called as dash. It is called dash. It is called governor of the cell. Have you read this in the biochemistry, molecular genetics? You should only say no, isn't it? That is a very nice answer from you. Governor of the cell is no. Okay. Or it is also called on-off switch. On-off switch. So it's a molecular on-off switch. Clear? Now listen. To keep this retinoblastoma gene active, it should be in hypophosphorylated state. First, you have to understand. If retinoblastoma gene is in hypophosphorylated state, you will make it active. Clear? Is there any doubt in this? And if you do hyperphosphorylation, it will become inactive. This is a concept first. Fact. We are not responding, isn't it? We are not responding because we are sleeping, isn't it? Clear? Now listen. If it passes through the G1S cycle, this is where you see their phosphorylation and whatnot. Now see, if you hypophosphorylate it, it won't let the, if you hypophosphorylate it, please listen. If you hypophosphorylate it, retinoblastoma gene will inhibit and this proliferative effects. So that is, it means it is an anti-proliferative. It becomes anti-proliferative. Okay, fine. Are we clear? How there is a factor in the cell that is called E2F. That is called E2F. Remember, if retinoblastoma binds to E2F, okay, it will inhibit it. But if E2F is alone, what will happen? You will tell me. If E2F is alone, everyone. If E2F is alone, what will happen? I'm telling you, there is a combination called retinoblastoma and here is E2F. I'm saying it binds and inhibits this. Okay. And then you will not have a cell proliferation, isn't it? This is retinoblastoma. And in the same site, we have a factor called E2F, elongation factor. Okay. Remember, this, if this retinoblastoma gene is in the hypophosphorylated state. That is, it is not having P, hypophosphorylated, less P on its surface. Okay, it has less P on its surface. What will happen? It won't let the cell to replicate. Why? Because it will form inactive complex. It will form an inactive complex with the E2F. Listen, the game is starting from phosphorylation case. If retinoblastoma gene is in hypophosphorylated state, it will bind to E2F. Now can you understand? It will bind to E2F and no cell cycle. No cell cycle. Now clear? If you hyperphosphorylate it or if you phosphorylate it, what will happen? It dissociates this complex. It will cause dissociation of this complex. It dissociates this complex and leads to alone. So this becomes active. E2F becomes alone. If it is alone, it will bring the cell towards cell cycle. So what now you will tell me, how should a cell become a cancer cell? Should it hypophosphorylate a cell or hyperphosphorylate? You think and tell me. No, I am saying if I want to become a cancer, I want to become a cancer, so what should I do? Should I hypophosphorylate the retinoblastoma or hyperphosphorylate that? Very nice answer. You will hyperphosphorylate the retinoblastoma. Why? Because hyperphosphorylation of retinoblastoma will not allow this E2F to go to produce that effect and will make a tight inactive complex with that E2F. What is E2F? It is basically a transcription factor. Transcription made by DNA. Transcription factor. And if you phosphorylate this, he fell in love with phosphorylation. So how I remember is this was retinoblastoma. It saw P. It saw P. So it saw P. What? It saw P. It saw P and the girl left from this side, EF2. The P kept the retinoblastoma gene busy. No binding with the E2F. No binding with the E2F means this E2F will go towards the cell cycle. Are we able to understand? And if you remove hypophosphorylate this will be in tight contact with this, like you people do. You people have so many friends, isn't it? You have so many boyfriends or girlfriends, isn't it? What do you do? If you want to be strictly with this person, so you will be having a tight bond. Now some people do, isn't it? Isn't it? I'm kidding with you people, okay? Don't take my word serious, okay? So, do you want, if you want to have a tight relation, do you want yourself to get hyperphosphorylated or hypophosphorylated? If you want to remain in a tight relation with the E2F, do you want it yourself to get hyperphosphorylated or hypophosphorylated? Very nice. So you should always remain hypo. That's what I always mean. Don't get hyper. Always remain hypo. This is how you can remember. Okay, you should remain hypo. Why to remember? Why to remain hyper? Oh, this is the style how I remember these things. Okay, so you should also adopt this style of learning, making medicine easy. Are we clear? So rest story I will be telling you tomorrow. Okay. So I think I have taken. You may be exhausted also because you are. It's so hot. So, but I hope you have understood this mechanism of what cyclins are, cyclin dependent kinases are, and how the cycle will happen now. And I think at least 50-60% of the story of the cancer cell you can understand by yourself. So I would like to make it more easier the next lecture. So take care, read the books. Kindly let me know if you have any doubt. So take care and bye-bye.